The night was unnaturally cold for a city that never slept. Neon lights flickered like nervous hearts along the narrow streets, and the distant hum of traffic blended with the whisper of rising clouds. At the center of the glowing chaos stood the Zenith Tower, a monolith of silver glass so tall it seemed to hold up the sky itself. It was here, on the 47th floor, that Aaryan Vale, the world's youngest astrophysicist, stared into the vastness of an impossible storm forming above the skyline. Aaryan's fingers trembled slightly as he adjusted the holographic interface hovering in the air before him. The storm wasn't natural, it wasn't even meteorological, it pulsed, like a heartbeat. A cosmic heartbeat, he whispered to himself, it shouldn't be here, not this soon. Behind him, the lab's automatic doors slid open with a soft hiss. Rhea, the documentary filmmaker whose camera always followed danger, walked in with her usual mixture of confidence and curiosity. Her voice cut through the sterile silence. Aaryan, please tell me that's not what I think it is. He didn't turn around. If you think it's the anomaly from Sector 9, the one that swallowed an entire satellite last week, then yes, it's here. Ray's eyebrows knitted. Her camera hummed softly as it recorded. But you said we'd have months before it reached Earth's atmosphere. I did, he replied hollowly. I was wrong. For a moment, they both stood frozen as the display projected the swirling mass of dark light above the city. It wasn't merely a storm, it was a fracture. A tear in the fabric of space, shimmering with colors that hurt the eyes if stared at too long. A ripple between this world and something else. Aaryan, Rhea said softly, stepping closer, what exactly is coming through that thing? He exhaled slowly. Not what, who. The air in the lab seemed to shift, weighted with something ancient and watchful. Aaryan had spent years decoding the signals that accompanied the anomaly, rhythmic pulses, structured distortions, fragments of something that resembled a language. And in those fragmented messages, one repeated sequence appeared every time. A name, Kael. Aaryan finally turned toward Rhea, his eyes reflecting the swirling light from the projection. It's a person, he said. Or something that was once a person. Rhea frowned. And why would they be coming here? He hesitated before answering. Because they know me. Ray's breath hitched. You mean? Yes, Aaryan murmured. Kael is my twin. The silence that followed was heavy enough to crush the air between them. Ray's camera nearly slipped from her hands. You never told me you had a twin, she said. Because I never met him, Aaryan replied. He was lost in an experiment before we were even born, absorbed by the dimensional field my father created. They said he died, but I never believed that, and judging by what's happening now, he didn't. As if summoned by the words, the sky outside roared like a wounded beast. The entire skyline blinked in and out of existence for a second, an optical glitch that made the city gasp in collective fear. People in the streets screamed as the tower lights flickered. Rhea grabbed the railing beside her to steady herself. Aaryan, this is getting worse fast. If your brother is on the other side, what happens when he crosses over? Aaryan's jaw clenched. That's what I'm trying to figure out. But deep down, he already knew. The anomaly wasn't simply opening, it was responding to something. A call, a bond, a connection between two beings who shared the same origin, the same spark of existence. Aaryan had always felt an unexplainable emptiness in his life, a quiet echo that whispered when he slept. Now he understood why. Rhea studied him, her voice trembling. Slightly. Aaryan, are you sure you're ready to face him? No, he admitted, but I don't have a choice. Just then, the building shuddered violently. Monitors glitched into static, alarms blared, and the lab's lights dimmed as if the tower itself were suffocating. A wave of pressure, thick and invisible, passed through the room, like the universe inhaling. Aaryan's heart stilled. It's starting. Rhea steadied her camera, capturing every tremor, every pulse of unnatural energy. Tell me what to do. Aaryan moved quickly to the console, typing commands into the interface. I need you to document everything. If something happens to me, someone must know the truth. And what? He hesitated. If Kael isn't who I think he is, you have to stop him. Rhea swallowed hard. Aaryan, I'm a filmmaker, not a soldier. Tonight, you'll need to be both. The storm above the skyline cracked open, revealing a piercing white fissure that split the sky like shattered glass. Tendrils of black lightning shot downward, striking rooftops and sending electrical waves rippling across the city. Aaryan's device beeped rapidly. The readings were off the charts. He's coming through, Aaryan whispered. Rhea stepped closer to the window as the swirling fissure expanded into a vortex of impossible dimensions. And then, from the heart of the light, a silhouette emerged, tall, human-shaped, but pulsing with otherworldly energy. A figure stepped forward, suspended in the sky as if gravity had lost its meaning. Rhea gasped. That's him. Aaryan's breath shattered in his chest. It was Kael, but he didn't look human anymore. His form flickered between flesh and shimmering patterns of energy, his eyes glowing like molten silver. He carried the aura of a being who had seen galaxies unravel and civilizations crumble, and survived. Kael lifted his head slowly, locking eyes with Aaryan across the impossible distance. The connection between them ignited like a storm. Memories not his own flooded Aaryan's mind, visions of dark worlds, collapsing dimensions, and an endless abyss of drifting time. Rhea clutched Aaryan's arm. What's he doing? Aaryan's voice was barely a whisper. He's calling me. The windows shattered inward as a wave of cosmic force erupted from the sky, sending papers flying and alarms screaming. Aaryan staggered but didn't look away. Kael, he murmured. Why are you here? The answer didn't come in words. It came as a pulse of energy that struck the tower, warping space around them. The lab twisted like a reflection in turbulent water. Rhea screamed, holding onto the console as gravity lurched. Aaryan fell to his knees, clutching his head as Kael's voice echoed through his mind, a voice that wasn't spoken but felt deep inside his bones. You left me. Aaryan's eyes widened in horror. No, you were taken. I was a child. The voice grew louder. You lived a life. I lived a nightmare. Rhea looked at him desperately. Aaryan, what's happening? He forced himself up, every muscle shaking. He's not here for reunion, he's here for judgment. The vortex outside flickered again, and Kael descended slowly toward the tower, every step warping the air. And for the first time in his life, Aaryan felt the true weight of destiny, heavy, inescapable, and drenched in the shadows of choices he never made. The city was still trembling when the first rays of dawn tried, and failed, to break through the swirling anomaly overhead. Light didn't behave the same anymore. It bent around the vortex as if even the sun feared to look directly into its heart. Aaryan stood on the rooftop of Zenith Tower, wind tearing through his coat, eyes locked on the glowing figure drifting closer to the world he had once dreamt of protecting. Every instinct inside him screamed to run, but there was something stronger keeping him rooted in place. The truth. Kael, the twin he had never met, hovered just above the rooftop, framed by crackling arcs of dimensional energy that skittered across the metal like living lightning. His presence warped the air, bending the skyline like a mirage. Rhea climbed onto the rooftop behind Aaryan, clutching her camera with trembling fingers. The lens shook as she tried to focus. Aaryan, he looks even stronger up close. Are you sure you can talk to him before he destroys the city? Aaryan finished quietly. I have to try. Kael's voice echoed, layered with tones that seemed pulled from different universes. It vibrated directly through their minds, bypassing the need for sound. Brother. Aaryan swallowed hard. Kael's eyes were deep, silver storms swirling with 1,000 memories Aaryan would never touch. His expression was unreadable, alien, yet painfully familiar. You came, Kael said. I came because I never wanted you to be alone, Aaryan said. Not then, not now. Kael tilted his head. Alone made me what I am. Suddenly, the clouds above twisted violently, sending a surge of spatial distortion that cracked the rooftop like an eggshell. Rhea stumbled, barely catching herself. A shockwave rippled through the city, windows shattering in distant towers. Kael didn't react. He drifted closer, touching down on the rooftop with a soft hum of energy. The cement beneath his feet glowed faintly, as if reality itself was bending to accommodate him. Rhea whispered, he's stabilizing the matter around him, like he doesn't fully belong here. Because he doesn't, Aaryan murmured. Kael took another step. This world rejected me before I even took my first breath. Why should I let it stand? Aaryan's pulse spiked. Kael, Earth didn't reject you. The experiment failed. You were an infant. But Kael cut him off. His voice thundered with a resonance that shook the railing behind them. I remember the moment the dimensional rift swallowed me. Aaryan froze. You, remember? Kael's silver eyes locked onto him, glowing brighter. I remember everything. A vision slammed into Aaryan's mind, a swirling cradle of collapsing stars, a void screaming with unreal colors, a baby suspended in the arms of chaos itself. Time fractured, space twisted, and for years, no, decades, Kael drifted alone in a prison without walls, without sound, without touch. Rhea gasped as Aaryan staggered. Kael didn't stop the visions. He wanted Aaryan to feel it. The loneliness, the silence, the endless fall. The dimensional womb raised me, Kael said. Not your world, not our parents. The rift shaped me. It taught me to survive in places your equations cannot describe. Aaryan steadied himself. Kael, listen, if you survived that, we can help you now. We can study what happened. We can. Kael's expression darkened. You want to study me? No, I want to help you. Kael drifted forward until he was only inches away, energy swirling around him like a storm obeying a king. Help me, he whispered, by bringing me to a world that forgot I ever existed. Aaryan felt the words stab deep. I never forgot you. Kael reached out, placing 2 fingers against Aaryan's forehead. Reality blurred. Aaryan saw flashes. Kael floating through shards of broken universes. Beings of light whispering warnings. Creatures of shadow chasing him. A fragment of a prophecy. The twin who returns will decide the fate of 2 worlds. Aaryan jerked back, breath ragged. Kael, what are you planning? Kael's aura flared. The rooftop groaned beneath the pressure. A doorway opened in the sky for a reason. I was chosen to cross it. And now, his eyes blazed a brilliant white. This world must choose whether it welcomes me or falls before me. Rhea stepped forward despite her fear. Kael, this isn't the way. There are people down there. Innocent people. Kael looked at her, really looked, as if noticing her presence for the first time. You record suffering, he said simply. But do you understand it? Ray's voice trembled. More than you think. Kael raised his hand. Ray's camera lifted into the air, suspended by invisible force. The device shook violently, flickering with glitching colors as Kael's energy flowed through it. Rhea shouted, stop, that's not just equipment, it holds the truth. Kael studied it, watching memories play across the shattered lens, footage of disasters, rescues, victories, losses. Human lives reduced to flickering seconds. Truth, Kael echoed. I learned what truth was in the void. The camera cracked, then exploded in a burst of sparks. Rhea gasped, stumbling back. Aaryan stepped between her and Kael. That was unnecessary. Kael's face remained expressionless. She seeks to understand what she cannot comprehend. And what about me? Aaryan asked. Do I understand you? Kael looked at him with something almost resembling sorrow. You could. Lightning arced across the anomaly above them. The swirling maw expanded, tearing the sky wider as the city below flickered with power surges. Something massive shifted within the vortex, as if Kael had not come alone. Rhea pointed upward. Aaryan, what is that? Before Aaryan could answer, the air pressure dropped sharply. A sound like 1,000 roars echoed from the tear above. Kael finally spoke, voice low and resonant. The rift is alive. Aaryan's blood ran cold. Kael, did you open a passage? Kael shook his head slowly. I am the passage. Suddenly, the sky ignited as a colossal shadow pressed against the opening above, a shape too large, too ancient, too wrong to belong in their world. Its edges writhed like a being made of both matter and nightmare. Ray's scream tore through the wind. Aaryan, something else is coming through. Kael remained calm, his aura growing brighter, stronger, more unstable. It followed me across dimensions. It hunts me, it fears me, and now it will know my power. Aaryan grabbed his brother's arm. Kael, if that thing crosses into Earth, the entire planet could collapse. Kael looked down at Aaryan's hand, then at his eyes. For a moment, just a moment, something human flickered in his expression. A memory, a possibility, a brother. But then the sky cracked again, and the monstrous silhouette roared, shaking the heavens. The ground beneath the tower split. Rhea stumbled backward, crying out, Aaryan, the building is breaking apart. Kael turned toward the vortex, his energy flaring like a newborn star. Let it come. Aaryan shouted desperately, Kael, if you fight that thing here, you'll destroy everything. Including us. Kael paused. His eyes softened. Then step aside, brother. Aaryan shook his head. No, if you want to fight it, you're not doing it alone. Kael blinked, taken off guard. What? Aaryan stepped forward. If you're truly my twin, then our power comes from the same place. Let me fight with you. Kael stared at him, truly saw him, and something changed. For the first time since he appeared, Kael looked uncertain. Brother, he whispered, voice trembling. You don't understand the darkness I carry. Aaryan met his gaze. Then let me share the darkness. That's what family is. Kael inhaled sharply, an oddly human sound for someone who barely belonged to this world anymore. But the moment was shattered by a deafening roar from the sky as the creature forced its way further through the rift, its massive form blotting out the sun. The city plunged into shadow. Aaryan and Rhea staggered as the air crackled around them. Kael stepped forward, energy blazing like a supernova. "The time has come," he whispered. "Let the world witness the rise of the Riftborn." The rooftop exploded in light as Kael surged upward, racing toward the cosmic horror forcing itself through the sky. Aaryan shielded Rhea, shouting, "Kael, wait." But Kael was already gone. The battle for the world had begun.